Welcome to the ITS Fund Structure Quick Tips series. Throughout the next few months, we'll be sharing tips with you on how to manage your new fund structures. Today we're going to discuss the different types of funds that exist in the new structure. You've probably heard the terminology being thrown around: fund center, project fund, SLA, service fund, holding fund. We're going to cover all of that today. But first, let's talk about what a fund is. A fund is simply a collector for expenses and revenues. It's an accounting vehicle that makes it easier for you to track your monies for different purposes. Let's take a look at an example structure. Here's Education Technologies. At the top you have a fund center. Fund centers can be found at the department level as well as at the division and group levels. These fund centers are a way to match the structures of your funds to the organizational structure of the college. SLA funds sit at the top of the ITS fund structure and serve as the funding source for the other funds. These funds are based on service level agreements with the different entities we work with, like Qatar, POIS, and Cornell Ithaca, just to name a few. Monies are allocated from the SLA funds to the various holding funds throughout ITS. Holding funds are meant to hold the funds received by a group that provides services or executes projects. Some expenses you might see charged to your holding fund include employee salaries, supplies, equipment, and employee training costs. Recoveries will also come into the holding fund from different sources, including the SLA funds we just mentioned, direct funding sources, and other transfers. These recoveries and expenses can be categorized and transferred to specific service or project funds. Service funds are used to track the financials of specific ITS services, for example, education technology and e-learning. Expenses and revenue can be allocated to service funds to better determine the deficit or surplus running with that service. Let's take a look at another ITS group, Client Services. In green, you can see the different service funds within Client Services. You may also notice a different type of fund here, a project fund. Similar to service funds, project funds are used to track the financials of specific ITS projects, for example, eTime, the 575 Lexington build-out, or the PO network expansion. You can allocate expenses and recoveries from your holding fund to your project funds to determine the deficit or surplus running with a project. And that wraps up our quick tip on how to identify the different types of funds in your structures. Thanks for your time, and keep an eye out for additional tips in the future.